Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. I'm honored to be connecting in with you. And today we have two guests I know that you are going to love meeting, and they have so much wisdom, experience, and insight they're going to share with us today. And the overall theme of what I want us to focus on today is that it's never too late. It's never too late to bring forward that thing that matters most, to relaunch something, to perhaps step into a new phase. It's never too late to bring forward those things that matter most to you. Oh, I am just thrilled to have all of us connecting, and it's so important to remember that those things that are placed on our heart, there's a reason. There's a timeliness to them. There's an urgency when you feel that pressed upon you to find a way to bring it forward. Today, my intention is that you're going to get that support. You're going to get some tips and tools and ideas and resources and expanded perspective to add to your toolbox to help you bring forward those things that matter most. Now, to get the most out of our time together, I encourage you to choose to be fully present. A great way to do that is to take a deep breath. In through your nose, all the way to your toes, and then out through your mouth, like through a straw. Keep breathing. That choosing to be present gives us an opportunity to pause, to slow down, to tune in, and really be open to receiving everything that is here to serve, to support, and uplift you. As you're pausing and breathing and tuning in, I encourage you to, as you breathe in, really visualize bringing in all that support. And then as you breathe out, you're releasing all that no longer serves, creating room and space for more. This mindful breathing actually helps you lower your stress levels, your cortisol levels, helps you become more present, and creates room and space for more. Beautiful. As we tune in and become present, I invite you to put both hands on your heart. Close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Keep breathing. And as you do so, eyes closed, take a moment to notice, to feel your heart beating beneath your hands as you place both hands on your heart. Notice the pause in between the beats. What is it sharing with you? What is it that you need today to encourage you, to empower you? What is that thing it is now time for you to bring forward? What is it sharing about that? What do you need to help you bring that forward that is placed on your heart? Beautiful. Just feel in and see what is it that you need and are willing to receive, because you absolutely have choice. Receive that information, then take another big breath. Come back into the room, eyes open, fully present, and take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart that you need and are willing to receive. Let's keep it top of mind. Let's be actively on the lookout, watching with anticipation and excitement, listening for that piece to help us move things forward. Let's be excited, looking. You don't have to figure it all out, the how. Right now, you're just identified what you need and are willing to receive, and you're unattached to how that comes forward. You're actually excited to be surprised. Perhaps you never thought of that. This idea or concept in this new way you're going to learn today. Maybe you'll get a tool to add to your toolbox to support you. Be listening with excitement and anticipation. And I'm going to go around our virtual room and just take a moment with each of our guests to have them share what was laid on their heart when they took a moment to stop, pause, and see what's on their heart to share. So with that, Janet, I'd love for you to share what was laid on your heart.
Well, the thing that came to me was forgiveness is for me, for my heart, for my spirit, not just for the person who needs my forgiveness. In my life, the person who needed forgiveness would have cared less. Mm-hmm. But if I can be forgiving of them and walk away from whatever the situation is, it helps me to be a better person and to be kind and to try to look at the person the way God looks at them.
Beautiful. And I love how powerful forgiveness can be, and just being that reminder that you're called to bring forward today. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
And Kerry, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
Yeah, so what came to my mind was that I need to lean into the excitement and the nervousness today. This is a unique opportunity. So I'm excited about it, but I'm leaning into that. And I'm open to receiving the opportunity to learn today from Janet and from you, and even maybe learn something, as I'm talking through some ideas today. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that. And I love how you're leaning into all of it with an openness. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Sure. And listeners, how about you? When you took a moment to stop, pause, and listen, what bubbled up on your heart? How did what Kerry shared and Janet shared tie in? How has that perhaps added to what you had bubbling up within you? As we go to our first commercial break, I invite you to stay present, really listen to what's being laid on your heart, and we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. I always find it interesting when we remember to pause. We remember to slow down and listen, how relaxing that can actually be and rejuvenating in just that 1 minute, 2 minutes, and the clarity we can get, the focus we can get when we remember to pause. So we have woven those pause moments throughout our show on purpose, lovingly designed to really help you pause and take in all that serves. Start to really incorporate it into you, and then breathing out what no longer does. So by the end of the show, our goal is to have you really building these things into your life, building the insights that come from our guests as well as bubble up within you as you're pausing and listening. So welcome back. We're talking about how it's never too late, for whatever it is that you are looking to bring forward. I'm excited to introduce our first guest, Kerry Hoffman. She has a PhD and a coaching certification. She was a full-time educator and served in a series of roles over multiple decades, so has a wide range of experience in the educational space. And as a result, she has really learned how to help bring those things forward that matter most to her. She's a recent empty nester, and so she's enjoying coaching and inspiring other empty nester women and helping them chase down their dreams, really find that clarity and move forward in those things that matter most to them. She's absolutely passionate about you designing and confidently stepping into and living your best life. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful and inspiring Kerry Hoffman to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much for that very sweet introduction.
You are very, very welcome. Excited to have you joining us today. And I wanted to start with why. Why is this work of helping women, empty nester women in particular, so important to you?
You know, I think I've gotten to this point in my life where, you know, I was calling my kids and I'd be like, oh, what are you doing? Or what have you been up to? And they would tell me all of these great adventures. And I was not having great adventures. I was just kind of sitting here stuck and just, you know, not living this great life that I have and taking the chance to, you know, make the most of it. We only get to live once. And so it just kind of set me on this journey where I didn't want anybody to get to the end of their life, especially moms who have given up everything, you know, given themselves over to their families, their kids, their pets sometimes, right? And get to the end of their life and they lived it for somebody else and they never really got to where they wanted to be or did, you know, things they wanted to do and they had on their heart that they never acted on. And so that's really what drives me. I want to hear about women that eked out every ounce of life, you know, and then when it was time to go, they had no regrets. So
I love that. How powerful. And you're right. So many of us can just seamlessly, in a sense, live and help others in so many different ways and not even stop and think about what are those things on my bucket list? What are those things that I want to bring forward? So I love that you are supporting people in that. You had your own realization in that, wow, I want some of those adventures too. And
exactly.
I mean, it's so beautiful. And now you're helping others do that. So what are some of the ways that you help and maybe your favorite part of working with women in this space?
You know, I think my favorite part is when we have the conversation about later is a lie, that we keep telling ourselves, you know, I'll get in shape later, or I'll go after that job, you know, after I do whatever, or, you know, that'll happen next year. And that never happens. I mean, even if we live a long life, sometimes later never happens. And sometimes we think it's, we've got all these years to live and we really don't. I mean, I'm 55, so my life is probably more than half over. And, I think it's when we sit back and we realize we did a great job as being a mom, and we're still doing a great job as being a wife, maybe. But it is our turn, and I think we have a responsibility to ourselves. And Janet mentioned about being that person for God, if you believe in heavenly beings. I do, and just for the universe, you've been given all these gifts of and you should make the most of them. And I think that's the conversation that I really enjoy having with people.
I love that, because you're right. I think sometimes we think someday, tomorrow, later is guaranteed, and it's not. We have now, and how important it is that we find a way to bring forward, take steps on those things in our heart now, not just always assume someday later will happen. I think that's so powerful that you have that conversation. And I'm thinking for all of us adding things to our toolbox, I think it's good to take a moment and think about what are some of those phrases or things we frequently say. Oh, someday I'll do that. I'll do that later. I'll do that after, and start to maybe look at bringing those things forward. How do you help people do that, bring those forward? And the other question I have around that is, I find sometimes if we shift how we're doing things, and instead of later, it becomes now, it can be a little scary. It's becoming really real. It's not that safe someday space, right? So how do you help people make that shift and maybe handle some of that fear that can come up?
Well, I think there's lots of things that we can do in a conversation, but some of it's just listening, right? Asking good questions and listening for answers that might give you some insights about what's the fear holding them back, right? It could be, I feel like I'm too old. Well, nobody's too old. I mean, Grandma Moses didn't start painting until I think she was like late 70s, early 80s, something like that. I mean, Martha Stewart didn't start a business until she was in her 50s. I mean, too old is not, it's not a valid excuse anymore. But, and whatever it is, I think it's, opening up the possibilities for people. And with that, whether that's like doing some visioning exercises or creating a, vision board, or somebody recently, I heard them refer to it as an action board, where, you really think about what is resonating with you in terms of, goals that you have. And they don't have to be huge. I mean, it could be take a class to learn Spanish, or it could be taking an art class, or, start going for a walk every day and see where that leads them. I think that small successes build on each other. And I think, as a coach and listening to people and helping them stay accountable and, taking some small risks to show that they can do whatever they put their mind to, I think that's just, an easy answer, right? That's the beginning step.
Sure. Well, and I think those are beautiful examples that you shared, because I think we do buy into that lie that it's too late for this or that, and it's just not true. And if people question that, you can actually do great research. We have computers, we have so much data available, and really look at ages that people are starting things. And I think it'll shift the perspective that we may have around that feeling it's too late, too old, those types of things. And I love that your discovery and you're seeing that those small successes build on each other and really do make a difference, because I think we can sometimes make that first step, or the first step, seem so big and hard, but it can shift the momentum and start to move things forward. Do you have a favorite story or example that kind of stays in your heart of some of these shifts you've seen happen?
Yeah, so one of my favorite clients of all time, divorced, couple of kids, very hard worker. She decided to go back to school, and she just recently got her master's degree. And it opened the world for her. It opened the possibilities. Like, she put it off for a long time. There was some fear there about, can I really do this? Is it too late for me to do something different in my career? That kind of thing. But the difference in her after that moment when she graduated, I mean, it opened literal and figurative doors. I mean, her outlook on the world was so much more positive and open and full of possibilities. And I think that was just that's my favorite story.
I love that. I'm smiling as you shared and leaning in, and what a powerful difference to not only achieve something she put off for so long, and there was fear around to come through of that, but also all of the opportunities and how the world has opened up for her in so many different ways. I celebrate that. I love that. I'm thinking in a lot of the work that you do and helping people, and I love that, listening and asking great questions and helping them on their journey, I suspect it's also important to develop goals and setting them and developing them and then taking action on that. You even mentioned accountability a little bit. What are your thoughts about that? Is that important? Is it not? And where does someone start if that is something that is important for them to do?
So, dreams without a plan you're never going to attain them, right? So you have to do something concrete. You have to plan, and you have to take some steps, and you have to be able to measure in some way, shape, or form, am I getting there? So, if it's, I've never been outside of the country. I want to go to Europe. Okay, well, maybe many of us don't have all that kind of money, right, laying around, and we can't go tomorrow. But we can start saving. So you put a savings plan into place, and, you say, by this time next year, I'm going to have $5,000 and I'm going to go to Europe. That's not going to happen unless you are intentional about the saving, right? And it could be other. I mean, there are many steps along with the big steps. So I think the idea earlier about building on the smaller successes and getting some momentum going, it's pretty exciting when you start walking every day and you see some of the pounds come off, or, you're taking a class at a time and pretty soon you have your master's degree, or, you just work to be happier. You're learning to do mindfulness activities, or, something like that. It doesn't have to be huge, but it does have to be something that you can look back on and say, am I really working toward this? And if I'm not, what's getting in the way? And I think that's where, conversations with a coach or a sister or a friend or, a colleague can help you stay on track. I think the accountability piece is huge there.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I love that dreams without a plan just kind of stay dreams. So really putting that plan into place where you can even measure and see, are you moving forward and in the direction you're wanting? And if not, what's getting in the way, and how valuable a coach can be to step in alongside in exploring that and helping you continue to move forward in a powerful way. And again, that reminder that those small steps, those small successes build, it shifts the momentum in powerful ways. I think you've given us so much to think about, really great tips and ideas to explore and add to our toolbox. And I just wanted to see if there's anything else on your heart that you wanted to share with us.
I guess I would just say, for anybody who's listening and needs to hear it, it really isn't too late, but you can't put it off forever. That later really is a lie that you need to pay attention to. And, nobody's going to make your life what you want it to be except you.
Powerful. Thank you so much, Kerry. I appreciate you sharing with us today. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And listeners, I promise towards the end of the show, we'll make sure you know how to get in touch with Kerry so you can go deeper and lean into those powerful conversations. Enjoy these next 2 minutes and really take a moment to perhaps explore, what do you frequently say someday, later, I'll get to that, or after this? Start making that list. We'll continue our conversation in 2 minutes.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on X. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and that you've started making your list. We had some nice conversations behind the scenes that Janet shared some things. I'll let her share as we bring her on that I think will encourage and inspire you as well as we continue that conversation about it's never too late. Well, I am really excited to bring aboard Janet. I know you're going to enjoy her energy, her personality, and what she's bringing forward. She has a master's degree in English, and she has worked for a couple of different publishing companies and even written for Ancestry.com, the magazine. And she's even had the opportunity in the work that she's done there to interview celebrities about their genealogy and their connections to that for Ancestry.com. And she is a woman of faith, an author. She has a forthcoming book we're going to be talking about today, a teacher, abuse survivor, and she's absolutely passionate about helping you discover how loved and worthy you are. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the dynamic, the heart-centered, and energetic Cheney to the show. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. What a great introduction. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome, and I love your energy. It's something that always strikes me every time we have an opportunity to connect. So welcome. And I'd love for you to share a little bit of what you shared behind the scenes, if you don't mind, when you responded to Kerry's share.
Sure. It took me a long time to figure out who I was. And when I did, then I realized I needed more education. I needed to learn from other people. And I went back to school. And so I didn't complete my master's until I was 55. I'm now in my 70s and have just finished my first book. It took me 2 years. But so what? 2 years are going to pass, you know. Mm-hmm. So you might as well do the things that you have dreamed of doing.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. Congratulations on all fronts.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'm curious about why writing? So as you looked at the things that were important to you that you wanted to bring forward, why is writing one of those things that you leaned in? You got the master's degree. It's something that is calling to you. I'd love for you to share about your passion for writing.
Okay, well, my book started because I wanted to write a memoir for my kids. They've all had challenges of their own, and we're just now all of us at a point where we're grown up enough to have relationships as adults, but they didn't know anything about me. My husband also, who was my academic advisor when I was in school, said, "Go finish your book." Like, well, I've written the same pages 50 times over and over. He said, "Then get some help." So I found somebody fabulous that helped me turn the memoir into a book. And with the goal that I always want to be an influence for good. I'm still here. I've had remarkable people in my life that I feel like God's brought me in places where those people were. And they've helped me change my life and be a better person. So I wanted to do that, which is where the book comes from.
Oh, thank you for sharing. And I love that, how you were expressing, I've written the same 50 pages and you were stuck, right? And sometimes it's someone outside the picture frame that sees the picture clearly and advised you to get help. How brilliant that is, instead of continuing to do the same thing harder. I love that.
Right.
And I love the intention, how this book has started and grown. I'd love for you to share a little bit about the book, the title, some of what people can discover, and when is it coming out? Because we're getting to talk to you prior to its release.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I feel like it's never too late, as you say in the show, to make your life into something that can influence other people to love themselves, to deal with whatever their challenges have been. As I said, it took me a long time to figure out who I was. And I love quotes. I started to collect quotes, but I also found there were people who had worse situations than mine and were living a full life, doing good with their lives. Somebody said to me, a happy person is too satisfied with the present to dwell too much on the future or the past. And I thought, well, that's what I do all the time. So how do I not do that? So I had somebody that gave me some life tools. And when I started to put them into place, my whole life changed completely. Damaged people, and they don't even realize what they do. And you don't have to be a reactor. You can be an actor, a thriver, a survivor, and go forward and do things differently. I've met a lot of people that have done that very thing, and I thought, well, so can I. So can I.
I love that. And this you've shared in the book, and I love how I've gotten to read an advance copy, and so I got to experience your beautiful book and all that's in it. And I love how openly you share that journey and the transformation and what you've overcome, and how you have moved forward in some really powerful ways. And I love that you not only have brought this forward, and yes, it'll share those things with your direct family, but I also feel like it's a book that's going to inspire and encourage well beyond that circle and be that influencing goal, kind of help you achieve that you're looking to do, is to be an influence for good. And I feel like your book is a vehicle that's going to do that. And I know as I read it and went on your journey, there were times I was walking beside you, cheering for you. There were times I wanted to protect. There were times, I got very involved, page after page. I couldn't put it down. And getting to walk on that whole journey was such a rich experience for me. So I thank you for that and giving me that opportunity. And I'd love for you to share, what is the title and when is it coming out?
Oh, I meant to say, the title of my book is So Many Freaking Secrets, because there were. And it's coming out as a download for 24 hours on May 14th. And then I think the soft and the hard copies will come out on Amazon the end of May sometime.
Yep.
So Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. So it'll be available in a Kindle format or a digital format on May 14th. I know there'll be a special rate because we're excited to help share it out, and that'll be of $1.99 for the first 24 hours. So I encourage everybody to write that on the calendar so you get to take advantage of that. I don't want anyone coming back to me 48 hours saying they wish they had known. So put it on your calendar. Make sure to absolutely add this to your library and definitely take a look. And one of the things is we've talked behind the scenes as your book is coming together and sharing about it, that you always say that you're so freaking excited.
I'm freaking excited.
I love that. So many freaking secrets, and you're so excited to really bring this forward. And you were very thoughtful in the cover that you designed. And I'd love, and you knew kind of right away what you wanted, the image, what it was to convey. Do you mind sharing that with our listeners so they have a visual?
Oh, thank you. That is the front cover of my book is me when I was 5, and I'm looking straight at the camera, and I love the picture because it helps me to remember who I really was and that I can regain that. The look on my face is like, yeah, what do you want? Yeah, it's me. Deal with it, kind of thing. I think when we're young and we don't have whatever experiences that turn us into adults, because we are the sum, of everything that's happened to us, but you don't have to let that destroy your personality or your sense of humor or your desires to do good with your world, with your life, with the people around you. And that picture of me reminded me that that's who I really am. I'm a good person, and I got a lot of energy, and let me help if I can.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And, that photo is looking right at the camera. So it's looking right out at everybody who stops by to take a look at the picture. So we're very excited about that and your book coming out. And do you have something on your heart as this book goes out into the world? It ripples out. All the different formats eventually come out so people can have their favorite format. Even Audible, I know you've got all of them coming. I would love for you to share, what is your heart's desire as a result? Somebody reading this book, what do you hope happens in their life or they discover or are touched by in your book?
Oh, gosh. Well, the most important thing, I think, is to say you don't have to keep letting what other people have told you or the way they've treated you define who you are today, what you can do with your life. Don't keep people in your life who refuse to treat you with respect. All human beings deserve to be loved, to be treated with kindness. If it's, what motivated me in the beginning was my kids and realizing that I was turning into my mother. So I didn't want that. And I've had so many remarkable women in my life that have treated me with love, that have been good examples, that taught me how to meditate, to turn to God, however you see him or her, or nature, whatever it is that works for you. Turn to that and know that you are loved by the greatest power on the planet, and that's not an accident. It's not an accident that you're here right now with the skills and the capacities that you have. And all of the challenges that you've had in your life have prepared you for today. There are other people that can learn from what you've gone through and the tools that you have. So love yourself first. And then don't invite people into your life for potato salad that don't treat you with love and kindness and appreciate who you really are.
Thank you, Janet. So much wisdom, and so true that we can really have people in our life that honor, love, and respect us. And we don't need to invite those others in, and that we are so loved if we are willing to turn to that and realize and bring that in. Thank you so much, Janet, for sharing. I'm very excited about your book. Congratulations. Coming out on May 15th. And I had a question. Just reflecting on what you shared earlier about the, getting help, and then it took a couple of years. And for some people, that might feel like a long time. I know in the publishing writing world, that is not a long time because there's more involved in a book than people realize. But as you made that, was there something, I know you got help, you got support to come alongside you, but was there something else that helped you be willing to get support, be willing to overcome the challenges, be persistent over, because you move fast and take action quickly, and taking that 2-year period to really bring this forward, what helped you do that and be willing to take that on and overcome sometimes what people can feel like time, that they can get disheartened or discouraged? What kept you encouraged stepping forward?
Well, you're going to continue to live each day. The time is going to pass. You're going to have next year and look back and say, what did I do with my time? I believe that you should proceed as the way opens and allow your spiritual qualities, the spiritual guides that you have. It could be your guardian angel who was your grandmother. Let them talk to you and listen. Take the time to listen. Open yourself up to that. As an editor, it was my job to tell people, you can't be married to what you've written on the page. So be willing to write in a way that will help other people. I've had a lot of really challenging things that I've had to go through. But now that I'm older, even though you're only young once and you can stay immature indefinitely, but you can look back and say, I'm pretty strong. I came out of some of that stuff, and I have something to offer other people that maybe don't realize that they can do the same thing. You don't have to stay stuck, and do whatever it takes to come out of those stuck places. And that's why I wrote the book. And I had situations where I didn't want to have to face it, but knowing that every storm runs out of rain is really helpful. And you can get past that. The next day will be different than the day you're experiencing today. Beautiful. You don't have to stay with difficulty.
Thank you. Thank you, Janet. Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I didn't have an answer in my mind. I truly wanted to hear what was on your heart, and I appreciate what you shared and have brought forward. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. I appreciate it. I know it's a busy time as you get closer to launch and bringing your book forward. And it's just been an honor to have you on this show today and sharing. Darla is even underlining, that's Darla, our studio cat. She is seconding her appreciation, and we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. So as we do that, listeners, I encourage you to really see what is speaking to your heart and spirit that Kerry has shared, that Janet has shared. I encourage you to put that May 14th date on your calendar, and we will continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Voice America is on your favorite smart speaker. If you have Alexa or Google Home, go ahead and give us a try.
Hey Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast on TuneIn.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. voiceamericaempowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and you had that opportunity to think about what Janet has shared, how it has touched your heart, encouraged your spirit, reminded you of something, or perhaps expanded your perspective. Kerry, what she has shared about how later is a lie. How are we taking that in? How are we applying that and really taking steps, having clear goals to really bring forward those things that matter most to us? What are you going to do differently? Be different because of our time together today. Because guess what? This show is for each and every one of you. We are excited to come together and to pour into you. And I want to invite you to drink fully and deeply. So as we bring our time together to a close, we're going to share contact information that is on purpose so that you write it down and can actually continue the conversation, continue the connection. I also invite you to take a couple moments at the end of the show to really think about what is that next step, or what are some next steps you're going to do as a result of our time together today, and then put it into action as you step out into the world. Beautiful. With that, Kerry, I'd love for you to share your contact information, the best way for people to connect and go deeper.
Sure. So if you go to my website, it's called The Power in Possible, not impossible, but in, like I-N, thepowerinpossible.com. There's, you can contact me and schedule a free coaching session if you're interested. It's right there on the front page.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. An opportunity to connect with you directly. Beautiful. Thank you, Kerry. I appreciate it. And Janet, what's the best way for people to connect in with you? And please share the title of your book and the day it's coming out, so everybody has it on their calendar.
Okay. I have a website called healingyoursecrets.com, and you can go there and subscribe for free. I am going to begin sending out blogs, newsletter next Monday, and I'd love to have you there so I can send to you. I also have an email, JBC for Janet Bernice Cheney at healingyoursecrets.com. The name of my book is So Many Freaking Secrets, Man. No, man. Just So Many Freaking Secrets. And it's a free or $1.99 for a download on May 14th. And then at the end of May, it will be available on Amazon.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Janet. I appreciate it. And Kerry and Janet, again, we're very excited about your book and being released out into the world. Absolutely. And that $1.99 is available for the first 24, possibly 48 hours. So it is date sensitive. Encourage everyone to mark the date on your calendar and watch. We'll be posting and sharing. And those of you who get on her list will also be notified and get the special link as well, if that is easier way for you to follow and not miss out. And I just wanted to go around the room one more time. I have so enjoyed the wisdom and insight everybody has brought to the table today. And I just want to see if there was a final thought that each of our guests wanted to share as we get ready to go back out into the day. So, Kerry, what's your final thought or reminder for us today?
Well, I think my final thought has to do with, I'm so glad that I was able to be on your show today with Janet, because I think we both kind of have a similar message. And my favorite quote in the whole world is, "It's never too late to be who you might have been," by George Eliot. And I just think, tackle the challenges that are getting in the way of, becoming who you want to be and doing what you want to do. So thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Beautiful share. And Janet, what would you like to say?
Well, the thing that really impacted me was I was smart enough to survive, and I was smart enough to figure out how to do that. So give yourself credit for how far you've come already in your life, because how far will you go from this point on? Don't be afraid to look deeply at your life as objectively as you can, and know that you have already survived. You've thrived. Now go forward with all of that and see what you can do with it, and make your life wonderful. You can do that. I did.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. And I can hear the joy in your heart and in your voice as you share. And that's such a great perspective, and thinking about, wow, you've survived all those things, and think how far you can go. How exciting that is. It's never too late to take those steps to start to make, as you said, Janet, your life wonderful. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And listeners, I want to thank each and every one of you for leaning in and joining our conversation today. And I really encourage you to take a moment and really drink in some of this rich insight and wisdom that's being shared, and the encouragement. I felt such encouragement throughout the show for each of us as well, because each of you are valuable. You are an amazing gift to the world. You were made for such a time as this. Be willing to lean into all of who you are. The biggest gift you can give the world is more of you. So the more you're willing to embrace all of who you are, all that's on your heart, what you're called to bring forward, and then take those steps, that's how we make the world a better place. And as Janet said, our lives wonderful. So it's a win-win. I invite everyone to lean into that as you go out into the week. Choose to bloom where you're planted and shine. Be that light to all of those around. Thank you, everyone, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.